Imagine walking into your doctor's office awaiting news from a previous test, and the doctor walks in and they tell you it's a genetic disease. There's nothing we can do to treat this. This is a real reality that affects generation after generation and it affects millions. But now imagine you walk in and the doctor says it's a genetic disease. We can go in and repair the DNA thanks to this new technology. This is slowly becoming a reality thanks to gene editing tools. Hi everybody, my name is Isabella James, and today I am going to be discussing gene editing. The ability to fix DNA is a powerful tool. This can help eliminate some gene-related illnesses, and this also brings upon questions about what is right and what is wrong. So although it can treat illnesses, it does bring upon a lot of ethical questions concerning the morals of whether changing DNA is ethically or morally right or wrong. Today we'll look at what gene editing can do, some of the major risks associated with it, and how to move forward so that we're being responsible in our society. Let's begin with the promise of this new technology. So this technology can bring upon new medical cures. So diseases that may have not been curable before can now be treated and even possibly cured. So it can fix diseases such as sickle cell anemia, which is a blood disorder. A study by Gamage in 2022 showed that big improvements were seen through this technology, and even full cures happened using some of this gene editing technology. This technology can also even help cancer by making immune cells more effective in attacking the cancerous cells. So beyond curing disease, it also brings up scientific improvements. So one of the tools used is called CRISPR. It's a simple and accurate tool that is used in the lab. It's basically like a tiny pair of scissors that goes in and cuts the DNA and can repair it. And so say you have a DNA that is non-functional or is causing an illness, they can go and take that DNA out and repair it. It helps scientists design living things so that they have specific and useful traits. Now that we looked at some of the promises of this new technology, let's look into some of the ethical questions. One of the big major areas of concern with this technology is for the future generations that come after. So the changes made in embryos are permanent, they cannot be changed, and this also means that any generations that come after this embryo will also be affected by any DNA change that was made using these tools. So it's very important that we are being cautious and careful about how we are using this technology. It also creates the risk of designer babies based on certain traits. So it could be a physical trait or an intellectual trait. This can also create societal issues and can lead to even things such as having an elite or having certain groups that are seen as more powerful or better because they have certain traits that maybe other people don't have. One of the other bigger ethical questions as of now is the fairness and the money aspect of this technology. Gene therapies are very expensive. According to Sabuka 2023, one treatment costs $2.2 million in the US. And that basically just goes to show that only the very rich can afford this and will cause even greater disparities between society based on wealth, and that then leads to people's health being affected, because if someone can't afford that treatment, then they just are stuck with whatever illness that they have, even though it's curable. According to Doxson and Lockwood, studies show that very few trials have been done in poor countries, and that just goes to highlight the huge global difference in who can get this treatment and who cannot. Given these risks, we can consider the different viewpoints on how this technology should progress. So on one side, there is the argument for going fast. They think that we should be going fast. We shouldn't slow down because slowing down only slows down the science behind it. So figuring out new science improvements and things related to these tools. And it also slows down delaying cures. So if something can be cured right now, why wouldn't it? That's basically their viewpoint of if it's better to do it now than wait. Also, they think benefits are more important than the risk. So even though there might be risk in the future, they think the benefit of curing that disease now and dealing with that first is more important than considering some of the risks that may come along with that. On the other hand, there's arguments for being careful. As we said, gene changes are permanent, and so they should be carefully used and carefully planned. So this affects, like I said earlier, this affects generations to come. So if we are going to change a gene, we should be making sure that it is correct and that it is for the better and the good of the population, rather than just based on maybe looks or appearance or something more superficial. Also, throughout history, it's shown that rushing can cause big societal problems. So rushing something just because it's there, maybe not the best idea. Would they think that we should be more careful and consider some of the risks that might come along with this technology? And ensuring the fairness and access for everyone is morally our duty as a society, to make sure that everybody has access to this treatment so that everybody can have the same playing field with our health and with the well-being of our society. Also going back to not creating a huge difference in society and in groups. So in conclusion, we've seen gene editing has huge potential to help, but that also comes with some serious ethical and social risk. Fortunately for us, there are ways to move forward safely, and the true measure of this progress will be determined by how wisely and how ethically we use this powerful tool, and in ensuring that we are able to help all people and not just the ones who have access to it or the wealth to afford it. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.